Coming up in this video, what are spirit guides? Are they even real? What exactly is a spirit guide? If they are real, does everyone have one? Hashtag FOMO.
That's right. If you are new, consider subscribing.
Click that bell and you'll be good to go.
As always, let us know if you can hear us and see us.
If you have any questions as we go relating to the topic of this video, drop them in the comments. If we don't get to your questions live, we will answer any questions on the replay.
Absolutely, guys. But before we get into the good stuff, a little public service announcement. We are entering an age of spiritual awakening.
More and more people are searching for how to plug into the other side of their mind and spirit.
To hack their minds and use their intuition.
Inquiring minds want to know, how do I see behind the curtain?
How do we do that? So, matter of fact, I like my searches. You know, guys, I like my searches. There are 20,000 people searching for information as of today, every month, about spirit guides on the Google machine.
And that's important because to get to some of those answers, you have to stop getting lost in the fantasy and start looking under the hood, seeing how it really works, because we are all superheroes.
And that's what we're covering today. I want to say good morning to all the Zen heads who are
Nancy
popping on.
and Naughty by Nature. She says, hello guys, I'm a new subscriber.
Oh,
Great to have you. Welcome to the channel.
Yes.
It's always awesome to connect with new people, and you're in for a treat today.
if you're watching live, give us a hashtag live tribe.
And if you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay fam.
Okay, good. And also let us know where you're watching from if we need to come crash on your couch at
You know-
any point in the near future so we can stalk you.
Yes. So share the video, you get a prize. Stay with us for the whole video, and you get a prize, and you get a prize, and you get a prize.
And plus, we're going to help you stop questioning yourself and start trusting yourself, because that is our aim today.
That is our goal. That's what we do. So while that's going to be entertaining, the real reason you should stick around is because of the mind-blowing secret weapon that we're going to be sharing to take your life from basic to badass, but only if it fits for you.
Cool. Oh, we got New York in the house.
New York
Awesome.
in the house.
So for those of you that don't know us yet, I'm Heather
And I'm David.
from Zen Rose Garden. Yes.
Helping people create
Badass lives.
by combining the science of self-growth with the magic of mysticism.
It's got to go together, right? So since
Like a
2000,
hand in a glove. Oh, anyway.
still a little creepy. We got to work on that creep factor. So since 2008, we've helped thousands of clients go from being overwhelmed, stressed out, and insecure to confident, purposeful, and empowered.
And if you've just found us, congratulations. You've just found the best secret weapon for your badass life.
Oh, I love him. But seriously, though, stick with us. We'll give you everything you need to crush your insecurities and smack down your fears so you are free to be you, boo. I love saying that. It's just fun to say.
Absolutely.
Just fun to say.
So through our work with over 2,000 clients all over the world, we noticed a huge gap in what was being taught by a lot of influencers in our niche that seemed to be doing the same thing everybody else was doing.
But y'all know we're not trying to be like copycat gurus. And what we did notice was that some people taught the cool intuitive techniques without the foundation of self-growth to stabilize.
A lot of crazy,
Right?
wacko people,
And-
right?
And other people taught self-growth without having a clue what to do when people started opening up their intuitive skills.
And both groups have a ceiling that lacks that integration. We've bridged that gap, and if you stay to the end, we'll show you how to get our best resource for your evolution for the reals.
And that's what we're talking about. So we are, I want to say hi to Anastasia, just because I love that name, Anastasia.
Anastasia says, please don't say that spirit guides are real only if you believe in them.
No,
We're going to
not.
break it down. We're going to go under the hood. We're going to get a little bit deeper. So Anastasia, just hang around.
Yeah, no, we're
and-
not going to say that.
Yeah.
Real if you believe it. So we talked about that sounds like something out of Peter Pan, right?
Right.
So
If you believe.
you believe, okay. So we're not going to talk about Peter Pan today. So we talked about some theories about what spirit guides are in our video, what are spirit guides mediumship training. And we don't want to repeat all that material. I'll give you a
Right.
quick little lowdown
We did talk about that more in
in
depth.
depth.
And if you want to watch that, the link is in the description to go check that one out.
So
After this video. not
after
right
this
now.
video, not right now. So we did talk about the different theories, Anastasia, in that video about, are they part of your subconscious? Are they your inner wisdom? Are
Right.
they an external being? Are they, any kind of cost. So we talked about the different theories, of which there are many.
Yeah, and we're just going to take it from a different angle today.
Right, but throughout the history of time, humankind has searched for guidance from that higher wisdom, that higher guidance, whatever that is, and in moments of crisis, found the doorway and tapped in and felt it.
Yep.
Okay.
So that is something more bigger, something more expansive, light and calming. That's kind of the feeling that you get when you tap into that inner wisdom. It feels like something greater than you.
So that feeling, if it returns again and again, sometimes becomes personified. We personify that wisdom, that being, that feeling of what we're tapping into, whatever that is.
So I wanted to say a quick hey to Jenny. She says, can't stay, just dropping in, but love you guys. Highly recommend. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. So with that feeling, when it becomes personified, we might decide or maybe figure out that it's our grandmother or an angel or higher self, maybe our own inner wisdom, whatever it happens to be for us, it still has that feeling of being larger than ourselves.
So real or not, Anastasia, that's up to you as an individual and your belief system to decide what's real and what's not, what's more than a feeling, what that feeling is.
It's more than a feeling.
But I do recommend going to watch that video on the different theories of spirit guides on the channel. So.
And Nancy says, Lionsgate is open till the 12th. A lot of downloads coming down. Absolutely. And that would be another example of those feelings that are larger than yourself.
And sometimes we're at moments where we tap into those feelings and they're stronger than others. So what exactly is a spirit guide? If they are real, does everyone have one?
Once again, hashtag FOMO. People feel like they're missing out. So now it's time for the good stuff.
So here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Go.
So
what is up, Christian? Thanks for joining us.
I love the name
and
Christian.
Lisa.
Christian is the name of our son. So one of our sons. So
naughty by nature. I just can't.
He can't. You got a DJ in the house. He can't help it. So tip number one, origin story. Let's talk about, whereas in our other video, we talked about a lot of the theories in detail. Right. I want to give you a foundation of how we kind of believe in them, and why. So
our modern day idea of spirit guides really comes to us from a variety of different sources. And we're going to kind of break down some of those sources today. So depending on culture, it could be an ancestor. Some cultures believe more in your ancestors are guiding you. An animal guide, more animistic, shamanistic cultures, we get the idea of the animal guides that are guiding us. We even have, as kids, I had little animal friends in my garden. I had a gopher family and my spirit guides, however you want to look at it, or a divine being, depending on your construct. And because we like getting into the mechanics and the origins and really breaking things down today, let's get biblical. So we're going to go a little bit further in time, a few thousand years ago, which is going to be more of a current origin for us, even though you see a lot of different ways that we look at spirit guides have origins in different cultures. And we're not saying that there is any one way that is more right than another. We're just talking about history and origins right now. So there is not any one right way to feel it. So one of the main roots of how we see spirit guides comes from the idea of the Holy Spirit. It's like this big generic origin spirit guide. It's like the Holy Spirit guide, right? You might have heard about it in Sunday school or your religious upbringing. And that comes from the ancient melting pot of the Middle East back there. Way back there in that other place in the world. So in the time of the Jewish Old Testament, the idea of this spirit guide was directly connected to God, but it was considered to be more sudden and temporary. It was kind of like an epiphany, or in Japanese, it's a satori. So it's a sudden aha moment. So this was like a temporary gift from God where you had prophecy or wisdom. And so that's sort of like the origin generic version of what we now know as. Right. So with our students, we focus on strengthening that connection to your own internal guidance, whatever it is for you, and connecting to that bigger part of yourself or that bigger part of whatever is bigger outside of you, whatever it happens to be for you. We work very well within people's different belief systems because we like to get under the hood and get to the mechanics of it, of how it all works together.
So as always, who wants free stuff? Give us a hashtag free stuff so we can get some to you. We've got 2 freebies, but you have to earn them.
To earn them. You get 1 for sharing and 1 for staying. If you like this, share it with a friend, share it with a group, share it all across the freaking internet. And if you really love us, stay to the end because we've got even more for you.
So hit that like button, give us some hearts wherever you're watching from if this is making sense to you. Like I said, today's a little bit of a history lesson on how we think about spirit guides today, because I think it serves us to know where our thought process kind of evolved from, because it's kind of passed down through the generation. So
now it's time for tip number 2. We're going to Newish school.
As opposed to Jewish school, which was like the first one. That's the Jewish Old Testament kind of how that culture viewed the idea of the spirit guide. It was a temporary flash.
Now we're coming a little bit more into more newer age.
In the newer age,
forget it.
Older, newer.
Bad pun.
Yeah, that
anyway. Yeah, it did.
Blooper reel. So in the Christian New Testament, we see the idea of the spirit guide change a little. So you see it's different in both halves of that,
So even though the idea of the Trinity in different forms has been around for a very long time, we now see this in the New Testament as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
So the idea of the Holy Spirit, which is like the Holy Spirit guide, that's kind of it. Now it has evolved from the Old Testament into the New Testament as a permanent companion. It originates here, okay, at least in the Judeo-Christian tradition.
So I guess they kind of had to one up the Jews.
Yeah.
Like, your Holy Spirit only pops in once in a while. Ours hangs out all the time.
So little competition there. So this was the upgraded OG spirit guide, or the new G. So
new G. Yep. So, and then you got 4G and 5G.
Oh boy.
No? Okay. So back then it showed up personified as a dove or as tongues of fire.
So the Holy Spirit guide, I'm just going to go Monty Python with it. So the Holy Spirit guide in the New Testament didn't even show up as a person. You see like remnants of like the animistic cultures showing up. So it shows up as a dove. It's not even showing up as a person. It's showing us up a dove or flames of fire. In the Old Testament, you saw it showing up as like a burning bush, which was like a different things like that. So it doesn't always show up. Sometimes it shows up as an angel.
Yeah, but the dove or the tongues of fire didn't necessarily work for everyone. So you're going to see a huge amount of variety over time, and every person or every group of people kind of personifying in their own way with what works for them.
So it's important to be open to how it shows up for you. And that's how we teach our students. How does it show up for you? Because some people don't need a personification for that feeling that is your guidance. Yep. Some people do need a personification, something visual or tangible to lock onto. And we talked about this in the other video.
Right. Again, it's in the description. Go check that out after this video.
So that when we personify that feeling of our guidance, it acts like a shortcut. I'll just interject this little bonus in here. It acts like a shortcut to access it and to make the connection stronger. So when we see it as a dove, or we see it as tongues of fire, or we see it as an animal guide or a person or an angel, that acts as a key to help us, a shortcut to get to that feeling of our guidance in what's trusted from our inner wisdom, our soul, our higher self,
whatever
God,
you want to call it,
whatever it is, stronger and faster and more sure. It's like a check mark to, okay, it's real, it's authentic, it feels right. It's
like a coffee pot instead of having to brew your own coffee from hand. Okay. No?
How does that make sense?
It's a shortcut. It's faster. We like doing things faster now. So Christian says, I heard a lot about spirit guides, but as a spiritual person, ask for their help. But I believe in self-essence, which each of us has. I mean, we should go directly to the source, universe. Absolutely, Christian. And that's kind of what we were talking about. Some people don't need shortcuts. Some people already know how to access it directly. For a lot of other people, they do need some kind of a shortcut until they establish that direct connection. That's kind of what spirit guides are here for, is to give you a personification which creates a shortcut so that eventually over time you become stronger and stronger in your own wisdom and your own personal connection.
So it really depends on your upbringing. For me, my parents kind of always taught me to feel into it. So I never I've kind of played with the idea of personifying it as I got older, but for me, I was taught to kind of feel that feeling. So it just really depends on, you've got to decide where that feeling is leading to. Is it that inner essence, your inner wisdom, your self-actualization?
Right.
For me, that's what it is. And I can have moments when I feel like I'm tapping into my dad on the other side, or my mom or my grandma. So it really, you have to decide what you're connecting to. Right. I can't tell you that. No one can tell you that. You have to tell you that.
And most importantly, go with what works for you, and it may evolve over time.
And like we said in our other video, what's the information you're getting? Is it helpful to you?
Right.
Is it uplifting to you? Is it improving your life? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
So Vanessa says, are spirit guides like a guardian angel? Yes.
Sure.
Again, different personifications, and the whole purpose of spirit guides in whatever form is to connect you to what is best for you, to connect you to your highest wisdom. And like Heather mentioned in the last video, we talked about, does the information that you're receiving help your life? If it does, go with it. It doesn't necessarily matter the source. If it's helping you out, follow it.
Well, we'll talk about types of spirit guides in another video, I think, when we break down kind of what it is you need, because as we see spirit guides kind of through time, they look different, right? You've got in the Catholic tradition, you've got saints, different saints that have different purposes for different things, depending on what you're going through. You've got angels and archangels that have different purposes for different things that you can tap into. So if you choose, if you're going through,
traveling, for example,
you may want to tap into
for that.
You may want to tap into Archangel Raphael because he personifies healing for you. If you're not familiar with that, that may not be what you tap into. You might, so it just depends on
your constructs and your systems and what works for you. The bottom line is, does it work for you?
Right. So
if it does, keep doing it. So let us know how we're doing so far. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? If this is blowing your mind, share it with someone who needs their mind blown, their mind hacked.
So hope that is, again, hit the like button, give us some hearts so we know how you are doing, if that's making sense. And we want to know, I like to poll the audience all the time. How do guides come in for you? I see you're already telling us, but I want to know more. Is it a feeling or is it a person?
Feeling, person, animal. How does that connection manifest for you?
So as you're kind of dropping those in when we, David and I, one of the methods that we use with our clients is craniosacral therapy when we do any kind of body work. Right. And for that, the method for that is very secular, very non-religious. It's helping the person tap into their inner wisdom, which would be that inner essence that I think Christian was talking about, or someone's talking about, that inner wisdom. So when we connect a cranial client to their inner wisdom, and you don't have to follow a religious path for that. And, we have a lot of atheist agnostic clients. Right. So, but we all need to tap into that inner wisdom regardless of our construct.
What we found is that with our clients, when we give them the freedom, the permission, and the support to follow that inner wisdom, that part inside of their mind brings up exactly what they need in exactly the right way that they need it, instead of us trying to interject what they need according to our belief system.
So it's really remarkable when you're allowed to access your inner wisdom. And for some people that we work with, it's easier for them to create a personification around it. And sometimes it's easier to just see their inner wisdom as a feeling or an emotion or even a light. So
however it works for them, and that's what we follow.
It's all up to you.
Yes. So Melanie asks, can they ever be evil? Okay, when you're talking about tapping into a higher wisdom, again, the biggest point here is, does it help you in your life? Okay, so answer the question. If it's something evil, is it helping you in life? Okay, I'm just gonna put that question out there. Pose that question out there.
That's a mind twister right there. Right. So I think here's a guideline: heavy or light. Is it heavy or light? So
if it makes you feel heavy, it's probably not coming from your soul truth. If it makes you feel light and expansive, it's probably coming more from your soul truth.
And here's the thing: sometimes something can feel heavy because we are going through some emotional stuff. So is it bringing you to something heavy or light? Is it, because our emotions can feel heavy. So sometimes because our emotions are very heavy, we see things as being heavy. So it's always like a self-check. But if you're tapping into your spirit guides and your higher wisdom, technically that's not an evil thing. So.
Right. So Blazing Turtle says all of the above. Right now, mine came in as Gandalf because I love and trust that image.
That's awesome.
Absolutely, and that's a good thing to be aware of, is because when you can tap into something that you trust, then you're more willing to receive more positive information from a personification that you trust. Laura says, I get chills a lot with spirit guides coming in. Sometimes I see the guide I need in my mind's eye when I'm opening to that. Absolutely. And this is just kind of some examples of how different people tap in and how different people kind of get connected to that inner guidance, that spirit guide.
So the person asked about the evil.
Yes.
Okay.
Melanie.
So we have a video on discernment of spirits that might help you determine that as well. Right. So like I said,
it's one of our most recent videos.
Yeah, it's a recent video. It has to do with heavy and light. Is it heavy? Is it light?
How to distinguish between good or evil, basically, when you're receiving information.
Right. So, that's
discernment.
So number 3, do we all have a spirit guide?
The ancients certainly thought so.
So again, we get this one a lot. I don't think I have a spirit guide. In ancient Greece, they believed in this world soul, or what's called the anima mundi, where we are all connected by this bigger energy and can tap into that world soul for guidance.
Yep.
And that would be
an ancient idea of what we now call unity consciousness or your higher self.
So they also believed in varieties of personal guides and guides that were assigned certain specialty areas, much like angels, archangels, and saints.
Yep, because the mind has to have different ways to access different points of this big, greater consciousness. So it breaks it down into bite-sized pieces. And that's why regardless of how it manifests, you're going to see these different kind of segmentations of different personifications that specialize in certain things. Just like you can't necessarily have one person who is good at everything across the board and specializes and masters in everything. So you've got to go to a doctor for certain things. You've got to go to a mind specialist for certain things. You've got to go to, the different elements of our growth and our evolution and our healing come in different packages.
To look at all beliefs
across the board
and how people look at these ideas of guides. So many of the ancient non-Judeo-Christian systems, like, the ancient Greeks, the ancient shamanistic religions, explored the idea, kind of like we do today, that there is a difference between spirit inspiration and the psyche of your inner wisdom, your inner essence, or the guide or that inner wisdom that comes from within.
So this would be the guide that is external and some tangible part of that invisible reality, or the psyche, which is the more internal inner wisdom that comes from within. And that's what Christian was talking about earlier.
Right. So in antiquity, they were already looking at these are probably 2 different avenues into our inner wisdom. Okay. So which is why, well, also because it is up to, they also said it's up to us to create like yoga, meditation, and other practices to still the mind so that we could tap in. So this is not something new. This is something the ancients were looking at thousands and thousands of years ago.
Personal when we work on guide connection in our psychic and mediumship training, which is something that our Zen heads get.
So are you guys excited to explain that? Because that was kind of a complex.
And Laura says, I feel like my cat is often one of my spirit guides.
Cats do that, man.
Yes,
They're like,
animals in general, but I think more cats.
I feel like cats really are running the planet.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. So we want you to let us know if you're more excited now that you have these tips. Is your mind blown yet? Have we cleared up some mysteries or busted some myths? Let us know.
I hope we've given you a little bit more foundation about.
Let us know by giving us some hearts.
About how we think about spirit guides, because I think that gives you more information on what you're doing, what you're tapping into, more power and control. More power and control over your journey is key to it. Not feeling helpless and wondering about it. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it evil? It's scary. Just having more control over your journey.
Right. So we are on a mission to bust all the myths in self-growth and spirituality, and we need your help.
So share this video, click the I'm part of the evolution link in the description to get that bonus we talked about.
Make sure you #evolution.
English. But we do want to take a moment and give thanks and shout out one of our Zen heads. We love doing this because thank us. We like to thank you back. Stephanie shared her experience with us on the Google machine recently. She said, I watched one of your YouTube videos. And was impressed by your authenticity, knowledge, experience. I found the support of like-minded people. Each message or comment is always given attention and never ignored. We do our best, guys. Sometimes one slips through the cracks, but we do our best. There is value in what you're receiving. You have the best resource for development. Thank you,
She was
Stephanie.
also talking about C.Ht Academy, which we'll tell you about in just a moment.
Yeah, she's one of our Zen hosts. But we have learned that self-growth and developing your intuition like a badass life, and for a badass life go together like sushi, Sapporo, and sake.
And that is why we created our signature subscription membership, C.Ht Academy, to bridge that gap.
So you could keep battling against those old, outdated programs, never gaining traction, and keep spinning in circles. Don't do that.
No, don't. Please don't do that. Or you could start hacking your mind, healing your heart, and connecting your soul so that you can live a more rich, satisfying life and do more for the world.
So it's time to get our secret weapon once again and plug directly into all of our unique proven shortcuts, our signature mind hacks, and emotional ninja skills that have worked for thousands of our clients to step into their confidence, self-love, and personal power.
So that they can trust themselves to live their passionate purpose completely.
#passion. That's all I gotta say.
#hell yes.
Yes. So do you qualify for this? Is it right for you? Are you tired of mediumship advice that is way too complicated?
People telling you that mediumship is satanic.
That's a big one. People telling you that you were crazy.
Are you ready for mediumship training without judgment?
Mediumship training that doesn't scare the crap out of you.
Mediumship training that is natural and fun.
That's right. We like to keep it real. So what it is
what it is. Okay, go.
C.Ht Academy is where the science of self-growth meets the magic of mysticism.
It is the best collection of mind hacks, emotional healing techniques, and psychological self-growth tactics to create greater lasting impact in the world while living your best life.
So this will work for you even if you are allergic to fairy dust and just want real information without all that unicorn poop getting on your shoes.
Yeah. Even if you're a complete virgin to this and never had your metaphysical cherry popped.
Oh boy.
Cherry poppin' daddies.
Oh boy. Even if you think you know it all and can never possibly learn anything new.
In that case, you are in the wrong place. If you can't learn,
we keep learning new stuff.
We can't teach.
If we learn new stuff, you learn new stuff. So C.Ht Academy is our inner circle where we jack you into the ZRG mainframe so you can stop fighting that inner supervillain, become your own superhero, and do what you are meant to do, boo.
Absolutely. So what do you need to get into the Academy?
Easy peasy.
Click the link in the description to be taken to the checkout cart, put in your details, and in seconds, start the first lesson of our advanced mediumship training course.
And that will get you on your way to connecting to your spirit guides in a way that's right for you and just start all the great stuff. And hang out with us because that is where we kind of personally get involved in growth. So wow. And answer your questions you have for us. You have us more on.
You've got more direct access to our brains on tap in there. And we've got some of the Zen heads with us. Let us know, let everybody else know what it is that you gain. What do you get from C.Ht Academy? Let them know what they can expect by coming in. All of the info is going to be down below.
So because you guys stayed to the end, you do get that prize we talked about. Click the I love you so much I stayed link in the description.
And give us a #ILoveZRG.
Because I love that. And if you like this video, hit the like button.
If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below.
We would like to hear from you because that's where we get our ideas. It keeps our brain juices going.
Keeps us fresh. For more badass life tips,
be sure to subscribe
and click the bell to turn notifications on,
so you are the first to know
when we drop a new video
or go live.
And we know that time is a valuable and precious resource, and the fact that you have spent that with us, but most importantly, with yourself, leveling up your skills and your education, we absolutely honor and appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
See y'all soon.